So I have also this question. One more question. So last Bob Marley tour, Uprising, right? He looked like so sick by that time, right? He looked very sick, very tired by
Look, let me tell you something. He
Mhm.
never slept. First of all, he never slept. He was on a plane, a train, in the studio. He was doing interviews. There was thousands of people around him. He never got sleep. He dedicated everything to the people. He gave all of himself to people. He never slept. If he got 4 hours of sleep a night, it was amazing. And so this starts to worry you after a while. He never had freedom. There was always somebody around trying to get him involved in something that he didn't want to be involved in. And there was always conflict. You know, he suffered really severely. It wasn't like honey for him.
Yeah.
You know, it was like more he was being attacked by killer bees.
Bob Marley never act like a rat race. He was very shy and humble with money and all of that. He wasn't ever like
I don't, you know, the thing is, Bob never gave me money, so I don't know about that. You know, that's what he did financially was what he was supposed to do.
yeah.
Whether it worked for you or worked for the record company. I never questioned his financial situation. When I left the group, it wasn't about money. It was about his manager and that he was getting involved in politics and the politicians were threatening to kill him. And why would I want to be around something where somebody's going to take your life because of what you believe in?
Yeah.
You know, I had just had a young son born. I told him that these guys said that they were going to come and do some bad things to the band. And Bob told me to tell them to come. So
Yeah.
when they did come, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm not going to walk into
after
fire.
mhm,
I'm not walking into the ring of fire. I'm not
yeah.
doing it. I'm not doing that for nobody. I don't care who you are or what you're responsible, what you do. I'm not walking into the ring of fire because you want to test the water when there's nothing but sharks in there. So if you know that, why are you going to jump in the water?
Yeah. Yeah. So then you left after Natty Dread tour, right? But then you came
No,
back
I didn't. It wasn't Nazi Dread. It was I missed Ketchup was
after
uh
Natty Dread, right?
Exodus, Kaya and Exodus, 78, 79,
Mm-hmm.
77 and 78. I came back 70, the end, like 79, 80, 81.
Kaya tour, Survival, and then Uprising, right? Then you came after Exodus because Junior Marvin record
Yeah,
Exodus, and then you
yeah, he
came
was a
the year
substitute.
after, right?
Yeah, he was substitute for me. When I left the band, they got him. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to join the band, so they got him in and all
But
that.
but then you came when you came. So what happened there with both lead guitars? The main one, the one that was there, which was you, Al Anderson. But then you came, and then Junior Marvin was there. So how was that? Like the rehearsing about like the solos, like Marvin, you with Exodus, I'm going with Natty Dread. So
It was
it,
a nightmare. It was a nightmare working with Junior Marvin. Everybody knows that we just don't get along, and we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to get along. We're two different people. I got along with Carly, Wire, Tyrone. These were the guys that I was always with. And there was a lot of people I didn't spend a lot of time with in the band
Mhm.
because I was more musical with Tyrone. I used to room with him when we would share rooms. Like when we would go to hotels when we first started, it was me and him in one room. And
Mhm.
so this was for years. So I got to know who he was. When I didn't have anything to eat, his mother would feed me and give me a place. I slept on his sofa for weeks. His mother, you know, you have to understand in the 70s, there was no money in Jamaica.
Mhm.
Jamaica was a very poor country. There was rich people in Jamaica. But the Wailers weren't rich. It had nothing to do with riches. It was a concept, a philosophy of music, and a group of individuals that were militant enough to make everybody in the world understand what they were singing and saying.
Mm-hmm.
But differently from that, there was no money in Jamaica in the 70s. They were building Jamaica. And that's when I was there during the early 70s. And it was never about money. I
Mm-hmm.
saw Bob. I had just left Peter's group. Why did I leave Peter's band? Peter had a bad manager. The group that you want to be in, and this is for all you artists and musicians and guitar players, if you have a group and you're together, make sure that your representatives love what you do. Whether they love you or not, make sure that they love what you do. And the best thing you do is you're on time, you play well, you have a great attitude, and you're more of the inner circle than the outer circle because there's a lot of people in bands that are in a band that are on the outer circle.
Mm-hmm.
When I was working with Bob Marley, I was with Wire, Tyrone, Carly, myself. These were the guys of my inner circle. I spent more time with them than anybody, more time than even Bob. Bob was too busy. Bob had too many people around him, that some should be there, like Skill. Skill was very quintessential in his life. He kept him in shape
So
and
Marley, to do all of this,
medicine.
Bob Marley was like very disciplined, right? Like a disciplined guy to be like on interviews, on the studio, recording, doing this, touring. It's because of discipline, right? You.
100%. 100%. There's few people. I've never met an artist that had so much deep inside himself. That was so deep, and he comes from a mixed background. His mother and his father made him what he is today, and he represented to the fullest. So I got nothing but love for all the three of them and all of the Wailers. It's unfortunate that there was people pulling people away from the reality to keep it more than 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you've got it going on like Bob Marley and the Wailers had it going on, you want to keep it that way. So when I met Bob after I had left Peter Tosh, why did I leave Peter Tosh? Management, as I
Management,
just
yeah, management.
a good group has a great manager because the manager takes care of everything that the artist is involved in because the manager travels for free. He
Mm-hmm.
eats for he doesn't pay for anything.
Yes.
Free hotels, free flights, free money. Free money. And all this money, I'm getting 10, 20%, 25%.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to pay for nothing. But the most important thing is that you are real. You let your artists know what the advantages are, and you don't capitalize off of the advantages. Don Taylor was capitalizing off of Bob Marley's advantages.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Tosh's manager was capitalizing off of his advantages. I didn't want to be in any band that, again, was going to capitalize off of the future because all of the Wailers don't have anything to pass on to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has all the world of money to pass on to their children's children's children. But the band members that have produced all of Bob Marley's money have nothing. So the point was, I saw Bob in Miami Airport
Mm-hmm.
after I had left Peter Tosh.
Mm-hmm.
And he's with the Rolling Stones, doing very well on his own. But he
Mm-hmm.
had a bad manager, and I didn't like his manager. His manager didn't like me. He did
Mm-hmm.
super like get Peter arrested in Trinidad, and they stole our music equipment. And so after I saw that, this manager that was representing Peter Tosh was no good, there was no point for me to be in the band because there wasn't going to be anything for me to look forward to in the future. So I left Peter
Mm-hmm.
and I came from Jamaica to Miami, and I'm walking through Miami Airport. And then I see this brother call me. He says, "Hey, yo, Al."
It
I
was
turn
Bob.
around,
Oh,
and so
really?
he was
Wow.
sitting down, ready to take a flight to. He was in the airport taking a flight to London, to
Mm-hmm.
England.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh man, I'm going to New York." And he says, "Oh, you're working with Peter and the Rolling Stones?" I said, "No, I'm not working with the Rolling Stones, and I didn't tour with the Rolling Stones either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I missed those dates that I was supposed to be on with them. I missed them
Mm-hmm.
because I was, doing something else." So he said, "Are you happy working with Peter?" And I said, "He's got the same problem you have, bad management."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, I know. I got to get somebody who can represent, really represent me and the band to the fullest."
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Well, what's your plans?" I said, "Look, I'm not doing anything." He says, "Would you come and play with me and I'll make it better for you financially?" I said, "I never left the band because of money. I left because of your manager. And if
Mm-hmm.
you want me to come and work with you, let's get a contract together because we've never really had a legal document exposing what you're supposed to receive when you work with somebody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If you're creating and there is a substantial amount of money coming from creation, you deserve a small percentage of it. I don't care who you or what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't agree with it, well, then you got a problem with reality because the reality of a musician is his future.
Yep.
And if you have no future financially, what are you doing music for?
Correct. Yep.
So I told him that I would gladly come for the last 3 years of his life. And that's exactly what I did. I gave him 100%. I did all the tours. I did all the recordings. I did everything I possibly
And you were
could do.
doing a little better financially after Natty Dread, a little better, right?
Uh,
Like Kaya,
yeah.
Survival, the last 3 years when
Yes.
a
Yes.
little better, right?
Uh, it was more considerable because I didn't, everybody knew that Don Taylor was a thief.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew that his manager was not real for him.
Mm-hmm.
And after we figured out that this guy's been stealing all the crumbs, he's taking our money
Mm-hmm.
along with his lawyer and his accountant. We figured that out. And so things got a little bit better, but then he passed.
Yeah.
He went on
Yeah.
his journey. And then it was the same accountant, it was the same lawyer, it was the same manager who was doing all
Same
the wrong
same
things. They were
nightmare. Yeah.
didn't go anywhere for the Wailers band members.
So now you're back, and now there's Junior Marvin. How was like who was playing like the main role? Like on solo guitars. Let's
Junior,
say Survival. Okay.
Junior, Junior, uh, outside of Bob, because the eye trees always used to look around and see Junior stepping into a position that when I work with an artist, this is me. I'm not Junior Marvin. I'm talking about Al Anderson. When I work with an
Yep.
artist, it's always I'm in the background.
Yeah.
I'm giving you like 1,000%. I don't want to compete with the artist. I don't want to have it. I don't want to have to say anything other than what he's hired me to do. Junior felt as though Bob's passing, that this is the opportunity for him to step into Bob's shoes. And
Never.
his feet were never big enough for these shoes. And I knew that. And that's why I could never, and it's not like a hatred. It just, I didn't love him either.
Yeah.
I loved the music. I was a servant to the music. It was all about the fact that this guy is causing a lot of negative energy on the stage with Bob. And the I Trees didn't like it. And the band members, Tyrone, we all didn't like it. But we never said
So in
anything.
in in in,
We
in
never said anything. We let
yeah.
him do his thing because he was going to do it regardless. And one day when we got to Zimbabwe, Junior was tripping and Bob just fucking smashed him. And that was it. Everybody could see that he had had enough. And it wasn't about, getting somebody out of the band or getting somebody in the band. It was just the fact that when you work with an artist, You be loyal to the artist and let the artist be who he is normally and naturally supposed to be. You give him that opportunity to extend to the audience because without the artist, I wouldn't be there. So I'm going to give the artist, Lauren Hill, everybody I've ever worked with, you name it.
Yeah, when you see
I give them.
a live concert, I see the band like putting the whole music into Bob, and then Bob at the same time is giving you the music back. So it was like a like performing with Bob. It was like great,
Was
right? It was
it
a
was a big
machine.
experience. The same with Peter. I did equal rights and legalize it, equal rights with Peter. It was the same thing. I'm working with Robbie and Sly. I go from Peter, Bob and Bunny to Bob and Carly and Family Man to Peter, Robbie and Sly. That's my background.
See,
I can't say that for a lot of other guitar players that outside of Earl Chinna Smith, who's the boss.
yeah,
He's the man.
he has
Outside of
like a
him,
record, right? Most
oh man,
recording
he's number one. Eh, Forget about me. Forget about all those other guitar players. Earl Chinna Smith is number one guitarist.
in reggae. Number one.
He he had his period, and Ernest Ranglin was his mentor. So if you go from Ernest, he did it. Nobody has done what Chinna has done. Nobody's done what Robbie and Sly have done. Nobody's done what Carly and Family Man, Wire and Tyrone have done. I was a servant, and I was so proud to be with these group of guys and make music. I know what I didn't like, and the people who didn't like me, it was obvious. I just explained why there was certain things that didn't work for me, but it wasn't about them. It was about the artists that I was working with. It was all about the artistry and the musicians in the inner circle.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about for me. And it
Well,
still is today. I have my own group. It's called the Original Wailers. Why do I call myself the Original Wailers? Because I played with Peter, Bob, and Bunny. I played with Robbie and Sly. They played with Bob. I played with Peter, Carly.
you
I
were
played
there.
with
You were
and
there.
Wire, Tyra. It was all one family. So all of us have the right to say Original Wailers, although we're not the Original Wailers. It's the intentions of the music that these three iconic brothers introduced to me and taught me how to play.
Hmm.
And I'm just going off of my inspiration from them.
Even you have more right than the Wailers. You have the
The
more.
Wailers don't have any right to use the Wailers name because none of them have ever played with Peter, Bob, and Bunny,
But
nor have
you,
they played with Bob Marley, nor have they suffered any consequences. It's Family Man's son, who I went on a reunification tour with. He took all of my management. He took my manager, my agent. He took everybody I was connected to and put him in position to run the band. And I don't want to run any band because I don't run the band. We're a very collective group of people that are intellectual enough that when you're in a band, everybody, it's like four quarters make a dollar. Everything is tangible. But when people take what belonged to you away from you, and then they take advantage of your kindness, it's a very unfortunate thing. I wish him well. I wish all of the Whalers, I
mhm.
wish all those guys that say they're the Whalers, which they are not, none of them are the Whalers.
Nope.
They never played with Bob Marley. They
You
have
are the
nothing to do with
Wailer.
Bob
You are the
Marley's
only
success.
one. Yeah.
They had nothing to do with Bob Marley's success. They had nothing to do with Bob Marley's life. They didn't know
Nothing.
anything about other than their father or their friends who they brought into to be what they call the Whalers.
Nope. Mm-mm.
God bless them, and I hope they prosper. But there's no competition amongst us. We
Nope.
have
You
our
guys
own.
are the number one, the root and the best.
We have our own lane. All of us have our own lane, which we travel down. I never see those people, and I have nothing but love for them and their success, which I hope all the best to them in this new year. and the oncoming years for them. But so far as how it all went down, it was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was wrong. All that would happen to Bob, Peter, and Bunny was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It
Okay.
wasn't fair. They deserve better. They deserve more. They deserve respect. And
Yeah.
who's getting everything now?
Only a few. You should be the one getting
Universal, the
most of it.
record companies. It's the
You
record.
and Junior.
Junior, I don't know about him, man. Don't even put me in the same
No.
category. With him. I'm not with that
No,
guy.
what I'm saying, that you two guys should be getting something from Bob because you were there, But you were there before, so you deserve like everything now,
It's not about
'Cause you're the.
me. It's not about me being there before him. I left Bob's group. He was a substitute for me. God bless him. Whatever he's supposed to get, he's supposed to get. I don't think about his life. I think about my life, my family, not
Mhm.
his, not his life. God bless him still, and respect to him.
Yeah,
Mucho respect to him
yeah,
as an artist. But so far as I'm concerned, we needed to continue the life of our drummer, Wire. He died with nothing. Tyrone, nobody even came to his funeral. Tyrone Downey. I was the only band member that came to see my brother on his journey. Nobody
Tyrone.
had respect for Wire. Wire died with pennies. Tyrone died. It was terrible.
Yeah,
How can I explain to you how horrible and how beautiful it was? So it's not all peaches and cream with this. Those who got the money, God bless them. I'm not against them. Those who are like making all the money today, I could hardly care. It's
yeah,
just that I know that Carly, Tyrone, and Wire, family man, and Bob, Peter, and Bunny, they all suffered to make this thing happen. So
yeah.
I have nothing but love and respect for them for the rest of my life. And this is what I've done for the last 50 years is represent these names and these brothers because these are the brothers that were real to me and showed me the real world of music and their philosophy and their being. And I
Hmm.
got nothing but love for these brothers.
Yeah,
Brothers
yeah,
named the names I just named.
yeah, yeah. So this question is from Roberto, or friend from Argentina. Robert, si le puedes hacer la pregunta en español y ahorita se la pregunto en inglés.
Ok, bueno, un placer hablar contigo, Al. Así que mi pregunta
Salud.
se... Gracias, igual. Mi pregunta nos lleva de vuelta hasta el Natty Dread álbum. ¿Cómo fue la decisión de transformar No Woman No Cry a una balada? O sea, a una versión distinta a la del álbum.
Mhm. Okay, so he says like there's a big change from the No Woman Cry on studio to the live at the Lyceum. That's the new No Woman Cry when you came to play it. Of course, what I'm saying is that the Natry that you were there, but that live version you were there and it was huge, like better than the kind of the studio version. So, what's your opinion about that?
Wow, good question. When you play live, um, you don't know what you're gonna play when you're playing live because you can't reproduce it. When you're in the studio, you can do it over again. In the studio, you can make it perfect. But if you make one mistake live, that's it.
Mhm.
So I had the
So you
opportunity.
you were not trying to make it different, right? You were just playing it kind of same
I
as the
was
studio.
no, I was improvising, and that's what I do with music. Period.
Oh, okay.
Improvisation. I'm not going to play Roadblock or Soja Say exactly like the record.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that because
Yeah.
I have the opportunity to have more room than the studio. The
Okay.
studio, you're like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when you're playing live, you have the
You have
it's huge.
everything. You have
Yeah,
everything. Everything. Yeah. Studio's like
but
just a
it
percentage.
was more of an improvisational thing on for the moment, and
Wow.
just not wanting to play the same thing. And I was very not nervous but awake. I was
Mhm.
very alive at during this concert because I knew, we were being recorded illegally. I knew we were being recorded, so I had to play my best ability.
Yeah. You gave your best still, right? Yeah.
We all did. We all did. That's a great record.
So let see people we're talking with one of the most important hits in music history, No Woman Cry.
Mm.
And it came from Mr.Al Anderson. That live version comes from him. So you live in history. This is No Woman Cry from you in some
That's
way with
that's
that legendary solo that we all love. So that's you.
you. You're very kind, and those are very kind words. Thank you. I think there's better songs, but I'm thankful that that's what you think. Thank you.
Well, yeah, there's various songs, but what I'm saying, like the mainstream, the most known song,
Oh, okay.
one of the
Yeah,
best known songs, right?
I don't look at that because I don't have the statistics to any of that. I just know that, yeah, I played that guitar solo. I produced that.
Yep,
That was me.
that was you, 100%. And well, yep, sales. It's just like Rolling Stone is like the 24 best like song of all times, like on the Rolling Stone magazine. Like different lists that they make, like the best songs ever. Like number one, like Let It Be. Number two, Satisfaction from Rolling Stone. So No Woman to Cry. There's always on the top.
Wow.
On the charts.
I
As
didn't know.
as a
I
song.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's information that I didn't know.
So you play one of the best 50 top 50 songs of all time of any list.
Very thankful. I'm very
Yeah,
thankful to be part of that.
yeah. So Robert, la segunda pregunta.
Ok. También quería preguntarte por qué empezaron a tocar I Shot the Sheriff en el tour del Natty Dread, porque antes no la
Oh,
tocaban tampoco.
yeah. So see, he say that the first time that I Shot the Sheriff, they play it live, it was in the Natty Dread tour. Peter Tosh and Bonnie and Bob never play like during Catch a Fire and Burning. But you were like the first time that we hear I Shot the Sheriff. It was the first time with you too. Like I Shot the Sheriff, 1975. No one, we never hear like a recording before you from I Shot the Sheriff. I'm saying like live recordings. So you were
Yeah,
also the first, right?
but you didn't hear like when Peter, Bob, and Bunny were on the road with Sly Stone.
Mm-hmm.
They did a tour with Sly. They were playing all these songs. They were playing Catch a Fire and Burning these times.
Yeah.
And there are some recordings of it, but very, very few.
Mm-hmm. So
So they did play Catch a Fire was a big song. That was one of the greats, super greats. And
yep.
uh, after Eric Clapton did I Shot the Sheriff, it became like a huge, major mega hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought a lot of attention to Bob Marley's songwriting in the Wailers production.
Yep. And then
But
you
they
came and play it still, like the new Bob Marley and the Wailers. It was like the kind of the first time in some way, like I'm saying, like live shows, because I don't remember like to hear like on Burning. There's no recording from live I Shot the Sheriff, but you were the first one.
that was one of the songs that Bob really liked,
Mm-hmm.
that he liked performing, because the harmonies and just the arrangement and the lyrics are very prolific. The
Mm-hmm.
words that he said are very prolific.
Yeah, yeah. So, Robert, la segunda pregunta o la tercera.
Bueno, sí, no sé si ya lo respondió, pero quería preguntarle por qué decidió irse después del Natty Dread Tour.
Sí, ya lo dijo Robert. Pasemos a la siguiente. Ujú.
Bueno, ok. Eh, pues ahí está, supuestamente sería, si nos podía contar cómo fue la primera vez que visitó Japón en la gira del Babylon by Bus.
Yeah. Do you remember touring with Bob Marley the first time with Bob Marley in Japan? You have any memory? You ate sushi or New Zealand? It was a new
Yeah.
tour, right? Hawaii. You remember like
Mm.
any
Yeah.
memories about that tour you can share?
The first time I went to Japan was with Tyrone Downey. We were rooming together. And so we just got to Tokyo. We went down Shinjuku
Mhm.
and we were really hungry. So we asked somebody in the lobby of the hotel, which is a very popular restaurant that has the best sushi, because we weren't so used to raw fish. So
Yeah. So
they introduced us to a restaurant. We went to the restaurant and then we ordered all the sushi, and then they bought like a bottle of sake. They had gold shavings of solid gold.
yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, bring it on. Like I'm not thinking what the bill's gonna be. So we only have but so much money because we don't have yen.
Yeah.
And so then the bill comes and it's like about $700. And I think between the two of us, we had about $300. So we were $400 short of paying our bill in Japan.
And then what
And
happened?
that was my memory with Tyrone in a super Japanese restaurant, drinking the best sake and having the best sushi
Mhm.
that we couldn't afford it. And so somebody had to come from the hotel and pay off the rest of the bill that
Okay.
we
Okay, yeah.
we
Yeah.
couldn't pay for at that time. But that was a great memory that I had of him with me in Japan. It
Yeah.
was it was amazing. It really was
So this
incredible.
happened in Japan with Bob Marley touring. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Any memory about New Zealand? First time like Bob Marley going there, and the only time with Bob. Something like any
Yeah,
anecdote
I
about New
mean,
Zealand?
the Maori people
Hmm.
came
Mm.
and gave us blessings. That was amazing to see the elders come to anoint Bob Marley and the Wailers band members and Bob with blessings from their spiritual motif and gods. And it was really heavy. They came and the Aborigine people came and gave us blessings also. So
Hmm.
it was the Maori and the Aborigine of Australia that were the ones that were initial to show us so much love, that they were so involved with not only the music but the philosophy,
Of Bob.
because Aborigine people are very spiritual and Maori
Mhm.
people they're mighty people, man.
So you
He's
remember like it was a whole spiritual
um,
thing, very
I'll never
positive,
forget.
good vibes.
I'll never forget the Maoris and the Aborigines and the Kiwi, the Pakeha
Mm.
people. They gave us love, man, 100%.
You felt love in the air 100%. Yeah. All right.
And it was our biggest audiences of that time.
Yeah.
We did Crystal Palace and we did Italy later on, like Milan Arena. It was 100,000 people more. But our biggest crowds were New Zealand and Australia. That's where we got our message through to the people,
Yeah.
and they transcended us by playing our music on the radio consistently, and coming to our shows and showing us nothing but love, man.
Yeah.
It
So
was beautiful.
you remember Milan a little bit? Italy? Like it was the biggest show, huh? The
I
biggest?
remember they booed Frank Zappa. They hit him with a grapefruit because they wanted, basically, Milan Arena was Bob Marley and the Wailers show.
Hmm.
The average white band, they booed them off stage. Fleetwood Mac did really good, but they were having a hard time because they didn't want to hear all the pop icons. They wanted to hear Bob Marley and his spiritual message.
I hear that. Well, he Bob Marley opened two shows for Fleetwood Mac, but some newspaper from Germany say that half of the attendance of the people kind of left. You know, because Fleetwood Mac was the headliner, the last, and but Bob Marley was just before there. So when Bob Marley finished, a lot of people left. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that. Yes, I
Wow.
do. That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Fleetwood Mac. I love Frank Zappa. I love Average White Band. Um, Sometimes when they put you on a bill with an artist, there's a favorable amount of people that are going to go with one person instead of the whole pie.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it just so happened that Bob Marley was the most popular person at that time and that period. He was more popular than the biggest bands in the world.
Same thing happened with the Commodores in Square Garden, New York. Same story.
um, it was interesting to see that Bob had discovered his true people who loved what he was doing. You know, it was very interesting that we had no idea what working with the Commodores at Madison Square Garden. I know the concert was sold out. There was thousands of people, and they enjoyed the Commodores, and they expressed a lot of joy with our performance with Bob.
Hmm.
So for me, it was all equal. I'm not into,
Yeah.
you know, who's on top, who's on the bottom. I'm
No.
just, I'm so thankful to be there and contribute my little humble being
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
part of the
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah. Robert, ¿podrías ir con la otra pregunta? Yeah.
Sí, yo quería decirle que necesitamos un libro que recopile todas estas anécdotas y sus historias y todo lo que vivió con Bob. O sea, ¿tiene pensado algún día
Hmm.
hacer un libro de sus memorias y sus vivencias con Bob?
Yeah. So Robert, he's asking that why never a book from Bob Marley and all the bands that you work with, Peter, Bonnie, like Traffic, your contributions. Like, why never a book about you with one of the best musicians? Like, starting with Bob, and why never a book from those guys, from you?
Who am I? I'm nothing, man. I'm nothing. I'm just a musician who was very lucky to meet Bob Marley and the Wailers and perform some incredible music with them. And that's as far as it goes with me. I'm not supposed to write a book. If I maybe I'll write a book, but what am I going to say that I haven't said already? And what's the most important thing about a musician is the loyalty that he gives to his bandmates and everybody that he works with. You give your heart and you only expect your heart in return. So if you don't get heart in return, well then
But if
that's
you make a book like on Spanish and English, you will make a lot of money. Imagine like
I'm
on
not,
two languages, your book will
wait
sell
a minute.
like quick,
Hold on,
so
hold on,
quick,
hold
and
on,
you will
hold on,
make a lot of
hold
money.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Al Anderson is not about money. If I was about money, I'd be a drug dealer or a pimp or something. That's not me. I'm not a pimp. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't rob my friends. I don't stick people up. I'm not a thief. I've kept it clean with everybody that I've worked with, and it's going to stay that way. If I can't honor Bob Marley and the Wailers, there's nothing to be said. These interviews that I do, people always ask about money, but it wasn't about money working with them because there wasn't any money. The money came later. So why should I think about money now when I never got any money from it?
Yeah.
I got I got to continue my life. I've got a couple children. I'm in love, and my life is very humble and simple, and I want to continue it that way. The more money and the more agitation of money gets involved, you got more problems.
Hmm.
So I'm very happy with the small earnings that I get from performing as a guitar player. And as long as I can pay my bills and I'm in reasonable health, God bless me with a couple more years. And when my time comes, I'll see all my friends in heaven
Yeah.
that I miss very dearly. I'm
Yeah.
not into dinero. Dinero nada pasa.
Yeah.
Dinero, fuck dinero. Why? Because everybody that's rich is hiding from something. They're hiding from reality. Like, you got all this money. How did you get all that money? Um, you robbed somebody, or you got lucky, or you got lucky and you robbed somebody and you got everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in that. It's not about money. It's about principle. It's about belief and philosophy, and it's really about loving your brothers and sisters that you've suffered so many years from. Now, if we all have it, one shouldn't have it. Not one, not two. They all. It's a circle. We all should have it.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I make more than who had Carly, Family Man, Wire, Tyrone? I shouldn't have any more than them. They should have equal to me, if not more, because they were before me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love them, because they taught me this music. They embraced me and showed me love all these years. Even now, I get messages from Wire, Tyrone, Bob. Every once in a while, I vision him in my dreams, especially Tyrone and Wire. I'm really close in Carly. I see Carly. A lot of times when I see Carly, it's either he's being funny, which he had a lot of humor and love.
So you dream with them a lot? You
I
dream with them?
dream about everybody in the band except one or two, honestly.
Bob Marley too? Like you dream with him a lot?
Yeah, I do. I vision him maybe a couple times a year. He'll come. I'll just see, and it's really haunting.
And then
It's
you
like,
think it's like a Bob Marley spirit going on you, or is it more like your dream, or
it's a spiritual involvement. It's 100% spiritual.
like you guys are connected in some way, like Bob and you and Al Anderson with Bob. Like it's like I see you, Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's the same piece. It's just one whole cake, and you guys are Bob Marley and the Wailers and Bob Marley. That's the way I see.
The
I love Bob Marley, but I know you guys like same as
the
I know
time
Bob. I try to know everything about you, Mister Al. So
the time I spent with Bob, Peter, and Bunny, they were really quiet. They were quiet amongst themselves because they were transitioning. They were making a transition. It wasn't about this anymore. They weren't so together. Bob was going to go on his journey along with Peter and Bunny.
hmm
So I paid more attention to the three of them than I paid attention to myself or anything else. And the most important thing was their philosophy and my philosophy was Buddhism.
yeah,
I, I love the Dalai Lama. I follow his blessings, his teachings.
yeah,
I love Zen. I love Zen. And I love the Rastafari. I love the Muslims. I love Islam. I love I love all philosophies, because philosophies, all of them, are the teaching of all the gods that are in heaven.
we're
All the
connected. I'm
gods.
connected with you. I think the same way. We all should be from the same religions. Like no, just embrace the best
Every
thing from any religion.
everything truly celestial will never do you harm. If your philosophy is with harm towards life and being, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But what I got from the Rastafarian community in Jamaica was love amongst each other, and what their beliefs, their being, their appetite, and how they behaved as men. It was really important for me in my life to
Once
see
you're in
that.
Jamaica, you embrace the this Rasta movement in some way in your
Yeah,
life,
I did.
working with
Well,
Bob.
there was Gad Man that Skill was with from 12 Tribe. There was the
Mm.
Bubble Dreads, and there was Mortimer Planner, one of the head of the Rastafarian
Yeah.
community. He was Bob's mentor. When I saw him, you saw everything. Hair, you saw history, you saw Africa, you saw everything in Mortimer Plana.
Yeah.
And he gave it to Bob along with skill, introduced Bob to, I believe, was Gadman and the 12 tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very spiritual brothers, and it was a joy to know that that was the principle of their being. Because all the interviews you see Bob, Peter, and Bunny, it's the militancy of Rastafarianism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that shows you who they really are.
Yeah.
Nothing but.
Yeah. So you think, did you embrace that in some way?
Yeah,
The
I was there. I mean,
something?
they were
Yeah.
they were at Hope Road. They were everywhere I was.
Yeah.
You know, they were everything that had to do with the Wailers music, and it was all about
It's
Rastafari.
starting with a smoke, right? A lot of herb. It was like a
Well, that
sacred
that
thing.
was that was a sacrilegious thing that you smoked to reach your higher plane of thought. It
Yeah.
had nothing to do with getting high or getting giddy or anything. It was
Yeah. For
all
them,
about
it was like that. To.
no, everything was militant.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around the Whalers was militancy. Everything. There was no joking around, and yeah, you would laugh and have a joke, but that's not what the conversation was about. It was more about what was happening realistically with poor people, the government, how the police were behaving and legalizing marijuana and these type of things. Getting fresh food,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chin selling the right thing, you know, sell the right thing to the people, man. Sell them fresh food.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give them GMOs and old food off of the counter. Give them pure food because Jamaica got some of the most amazing energies and foods in the world, like Brazil and South America. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Guanabana, mangoes, and papaya. And
The best.
these things will keep you alive, man.
Mm-hmm.
Real chicken and real. If you're a vegetarian, real veggies. If you
Mm-hmm.
eat meat, it's real meat that you're eating.
Yeah.
No GMO. It's pure food.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Cool. Well, did you really see Bob Marley like a prophet and the Wailers as his disciples in some way? Like these prophetic lyrics. Do you really, as Al Anderson, see that in Bob Marley? Because comments on social media, books, newspaper, even the press from back then, they present him as the prophetic Bob Marley. Do you really see that in Bob Marley in some way? Like very spiritual guy, like sent from a different force. Like you see that on him. You saw that on him.
First of all, I saw a man first. Then I saw his spirituality. The same with Peter, the same with Bunny, equally. The same with all the Whalers. It was equal
Hmm.
energies. Um, some were stronger than others.
Yeah.
Prophecy is from a celestial place. If you're blessed with this, which I believe that all of them were blessed with,
Yeah.
and they introduced me to this celestial vibration, this frequency of sound and life. So I can't say what you just said, but I will say that I saw a man in them and all of them, and I saw their spirituality. And it was celestial, 100 million%.
High five. High five. Being
Yeah.
around them. Yeah.
High frequency
Yeah.